Hello, and welcome to Extraordinary Chats with Presifundent and T-Rex. I'm T-Rex, and we're about to call Presifundent.
Hello, hello. How are you doing, citizen?
Howdy, howdy. It's going pretty good. What about yourself?
All right. Oh, I think. Oh, hang on. Something is wrong. Oh, sorry.
I was rocking out, man. What the hell?
Yeah, I know. All right. So what happened was just I have my music playing, but I put it almost all the way down because I use this Bluetooth speaker, and if I don't have sound coming out of the Bluetooth speaker for like 10 seconds or something, it like disconnects.
Yeah, that's how.
And then it has a hard time reconnecting, and it's a pain in the ass. And I'm like, F it, I'll just do that. And then I just turned the speaker off, so then it went to my monitor speakers, and then it's set at a different volume. And that's what you just heard, everybody. Yeah, I kind of bounced back somewhat decently now. I think I'm fully recovered emotionally from being sick like 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I forget exactly when, but damn, it really messed me up. Are you still kind of recovering?
Oh yeah, I'm still coughing shit up, and like 2 days ago, I woke up feeling worse than I did last week. It's weird.
What?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just some residual shit or if I'm just kind of exhausted from all this shit or...
Like a second wave, maybe, sadly?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't nearly as bad as originally, but yeah, it hit me like... It was like, what the fuck? Where does this come from? I thought I was over this shit, and then the next day I was okay again, basically. It's weird.
Well, that's good, that's good. How are things been going on, other than, yourself? How's your lady, your kids?
She's doing good. She's had some time off here lately, and we spent all day with the day before yesterday, she had the grandson, and then I had him all day yesterday. But man, he's getting so big. It's crazy how fast that shit happens. He on my birthday last week, he hit his 4-month mark. So,
oh, happy birthday, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't know.
Well, I mentioned it last time because it was the day before, but I'm not really big on birthdays and celebrations and shit. To me, I think it was partly because growing up, it was made such a big deal up until a point where basically my 13th birthday was ruined and everyone after that. So I don't know. It's like when you ask for something for Christmas and it was like that one thing you want and you don't ever get it, and so you just like, fuck it. It's not even worth asking for anymore, that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's not really an old thing. Like people are like, I feel old when people mention my birthday. I still feel like I did when I was 20 or 17. I mean, when I was 16, I felt much better because I hadn't broken my back yet. But I still feel basically the same as the following year, So I don't know. I don't feel old. I may look a little old because of my grayish hair, but I can shave that shit off. So that shit doesn't really bother
me. A little. Or like the touch of gray or something.
I actually tried that and it works really good. The stuff that you kind of just brush in. And then I tried some stuff where you just shampoo it in every day for like a month, and that shit actually works really good. But then your hair grows out and you have to fucking keep using it, and it's fucking expensive. So, and I'm not really.
Yeah. It looks.
I'm not really.
It looks a little silly when it starts growing in.
Yeah, I'm more of I'll just cut my hair and fucking there'll be less of it. So fuck it,
I meant to say growing out. Like when it's growing out, it looks a little silly. I used to dye my hair all the time when I was younger, and after a short while, it's like.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I look like I had
absurd.
like dark tips instead of frosted tips. It was like reverse dark tips. You know what I mean? So it just didn't look right. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad of a look. It's just like something that you notice because like you and maybe other people notice it, but they don't like mine, But it's like, man, I like dyed my hair and I was like specifically going for this color, and now it's like, couple layers of colors, you know, and it's just off, and I noticed it, and how dare. And everyone else is like, probably like, well, whatever.
Yeah, nobody cares, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
have you been keeping up with the news here the last 24 hours?
No. I mean, I kind of the Tonga volcano.
Oh yeah, that's
is the most kind of recent thing, and that's horrible. Like, they don't have any fresh drinking water. And I was just watching this one video, and they were asking for donations to help, and I do not have $1 to my name.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, I have some pennies laying around. I might have $1, but I just have no way of getting it. You know.
I always hate seeing stuff like that. I recently gave I donated $5 to this clean water fund, which I'm trying to help promote. But I mean, $5 doesn't sound like much, but if everybody throws in $5, it's a fucking lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So I feel sometimes I feel like, man, I wish I had a ton of money. I could just throw at some of these issues, but you know, just can't actually do it. But then the things that I do, you know, like here and there. Last year, I probably gave away $600-700 to, you know, stuff like that, and I don't know. I feel good about it, but then at the end of the day, when I get broke, it's like, man, now I have nobody to help me.
Well, yeah. Well, you have, like, we all have those like little thoughts, and whether they're good or bad, you know, I don't think that's a bad thought of yours, but you kind of kicking yourself. You're like, man, I lent that dude $10, or I gave him $10, and it's like, I'm broke now, man. If I didn't do that, I would have that $10 now. You know, I mean, it's just human to kind of have those thoughts. You know, it's like,
I'm not gonna lie. A lot of the places that I donate to are basically, the more you donate, the more chance you have of winning a prize. Which, to me, I don't see an issue with that, because it initially is going to help. And if someone else wins, I'm glad for them, because you know they helped out too. You know, like I would.
Yeah, it encourages more donations.
Yeah,
you know,
there's
like that.
One that's all about either child cancer care or the child Children's Miracle Network, and it's basically about cancer care and basically giving hospitals tons of money to care for these kids because their families don't have the money and shit like that. And I think I gave them
and America just like lets their citizenry like not have healthcare, you know.
Right. Yeah. Well, anyways, I threw probably $500 or whatever the maximum is that you can throw at it, maybe 600 or something like that. But it was because I had the money to give at the time. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of balling out a little bit, which I don't normally do stuff like that.
I've never donated that much. Like I just like, I think the most I've ever donated was like $50, but 500 is like, wow.
Well, it was a tiny percentage of the profits that I was making, so to me it wasn't a big deal. But more so than anything, it was a chance to win $1 million house or $1 million. So that was kind of my incentive to do it. But then I feel like, well, it's not throwing away money, because the money that I threw at it is going to go toward kids getting care. So to me, that maybe it sounds like virtue signaling.
No, I think you're just using that $1 million as an excuse.
Right. That is like, it's like a lottery ticket, but instead of it going like 1% of it going back to schools, it's 80% of it going to, you know, help out kids that are miserable and their parents and family members that are, you know, struggling to get by. You know what I mean? And to me, that's where we really need the most help. And I mean, obviously there's public aid that helps people who, you know, seek that type of help and shit like that, but a lot of charity, I feel like it's like a way for someone to I don't know, siphon off money from the public to make themselves look good. And to me, that's literally the worst thing that can happen. Like, a lot of charities I've looked into, it's like 3 to 10% of the money they make goes back toward whatever cause it is, and then the rest goes to administrative fees.
Costs.
Well, what are those administrative fees? Those are people getting paid hella money to do this, and they're like nonprofit, but where, like, you know what I mean? The minimal, they normally, not all of them, but a lot of them normally only throw back the minimum that they have to be considered a charity in the first place. And to me, that's kind of a disgusting way of doing shit.
Yeah, there was a charity out here in the Springs, ESM. It was Ecumenical Social Ministries or something like that is what it stood for. They closed down because of COVID, but like the employees there got paid, and I didn't really have a problem with that. You know, like they were like volunteers, but they were getting paid. You know, and but I'm sure that there was some waste, kind of. You know, the more higher up you go, you know, there was you know, probably some waste going there, but they actually did provide a good service. And I don't know how the homeless people in Colorado Springs are coping, because my homelessness just ended like right before COVID and right before they closed down. But they used to offer like showers in the morning and afternoon, Monday through Friday. So I don't know how homeless people are getting by, because the YMCA, I canceled my YMCA, but they're like still sending me emails and everything. And I noticed that they had stopped allowing people to take showers. They're probably like letting people now take showers, but at the beginning in 2020, like maybe for a year, they weren't allowing people to shower. And that's how I got by. Like I had a YMCA membership, and I would go there just to pretty much shower and to, you know, maintain good hygiene, shower and shave and use the bathroom there. And they offered free coffee, and it wasn't the best coffee, so I didn't. But sometimes I was desperate, and I'm like, all right, I'll have some.
Yeah, I mean, it's all situational in terms of stuff like that, because like I imagine they only shut it down for, you know, because there was, you know, so much uncertainty to what the fuck is actually going on and how COVID might spread and shit like that. So I can understand somewhat shutting down those facilities, but you're right. That's a huge hit on everybody that uses that for that specific reason, because I'm sure you're definitely not the only person that was doing that, you know?
Oh yeah, you know, like, well, I used their shower facilities a few times. But there's people that like there's like two shelters in Colorado Springs, two main ones, the Springs Rescue Mission and the RJ Montgomery Center, and they're really close to each other. They're like a half a mile apart, and they're on the west side of town. So like if you're downtown, and that's where ESM was like downtown, you'll need to walk like 30 minutes, maybe, you know, about, you know, 30, 40 minutes to get to the other shelters. And those places, like there's people with like shopping carts or other sort of carts with all their property on it. And those places don't really like watch after your property or anything, you know, so I understand like people's hesitation, or they don't want to go. You know, ESM was a little bit nicer, and they were able to kind of put their property out there because they had security cameras, and it was just like a smaller operation. And anyway, it does suck. And instead of really pouring money into that, Colorado Springs has been fucking like tossing money to these luxury apartments and the new the Olympic Museum and this soccer stadium. But they're building a soccer stadium and a luxury high-rise apartment next to the RJ Montgomery Center, which is like the shelter. I have a feeling that the city is going to like try to relocate that shelter, like, oh, get these homeless people out of here.
Yeah, it's
you know, once everything's all built.
Right. I understand that they want to bring money into the community by, you know, facilitating certain things, but it's just like I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I was like, do you realize that when you were in high school, when they remodeled the high school, but they didn't actually like tear it down and build a new one, they just kind of they added some more modern stuff to it, which was still like 20 years behind. But
more classrooms too, probably.
Actually, it was less classrooms, so there was more children per classroom. She said that her final year there, that she was literally like, they would be touching shoulders. They would be so packed into the classes. Like, she said she didn't have elbow room. She felt like claustrophobic when she was in certain classes. But anyways, they spent $1.2 million on two different schools, two high schools, to, you know, vamp them up, to get them closer to modern, which, like I said, they were still 20 years behind. But you know what they did do? Our city spent $12 million on a 10-foot marble wall that is all the deaths that happened. It was like a Vietnam War memorial. $12 million for a marble wall that I've never literally seen anybody even look at. Like, it's in the middle of our downtown area, right next to our civic center. It's like on display with all these lights and tables around it, and I've never seen anybody sitting at the picnic tables or standing there even looking at it in like 5 years.
Yeah, that's a terrible waste of money, you know, like, oh my God.
Yet there's more students every year going to these two high schools, because we used to have three and they split it into two. So it went from 1,000 or 1,200 student schools to 2,200 student schools, but they didn't get any bigger. You know what I mean? They literally turned the high school into the civic center, the big one. So it shows you how silly, you know, I don't even understand what the fuck is going on with them. Like, oh, we have more students than ever. Let's tear down, or let's reimagine what a school should be, and then take one of them away and then make it even more crowded and ridiculous, you know. But let's also spend 10 times that amount on some unneeded bullshit that only like 10 people in the city even give a fuck about.
You know, we care about the vets, you know, just like 9/11 was used a lot, like, and typically by the GOP, but this happens on the Democratic side too. But they're like 9/11, and then like Jon Stewart a few years ago had to shame all these Republicans to pass that 9/11 first responders bill, you know, and it's like, well, why was that even a thing? Why did he have to do that? Because you guys like talk about, like, the political parties talk about this shit so much. They're like, oh yeah, you know, like 9/11, you remember 9/11, and then they don't want to help out the first responders, and it's like, what the that is such evil shit. Like, oh my God, like, you know, and I'm glad Jon Stewart did what he did, like, you know, that was very, and it wasn't just him. Right. But he was the main face on it. Yeah, I'm glad he did it.
I've talked to quite a few veterans. I was a welder for a while, so there's a lot of people that come from the military that have a lot of training and stuff like that, because basically everything they make is made out of metal, you know, all the ships and shit. So I would talk to them, and we have a VA hospital here, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, they just rebuilt the VA hospital. It's super modern, but I can't get help there because when I go there, they send me to the regular hospital. But there's this big, huge, empty $10 million facility. It's beautiful and brand new. And there's like 3 cars in the parking lot at any one point in time because those are the employees. I think I told you about, I delivered there before. I used to deliver pizzas there. And it's like,
so they're like understaffed.
No, they're not trying to be staffed is what it is. They're trying to not do anything for anybody. The doors, all the doors on the building are completely locked. You can't get into the building. If you're a veteran and you walk up to the building to walk into the hospital, say you got an emergency or whatever, you have to go on intercom.
On a memorial?
What's that? I'm sorry.
But they spent $12 million on a memorial. But
yeah,
they're
spent,
like, you know, not letting.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Our city spent $12 million on a memorial for veterans, but they can't get help at the hospital because they're literally trying. Like 10 of the guys that I used to work with would confirm. Yeah, I would go there and they would send me to the other hospital, and I'm like, why the fuck does this place exist if it's a VA hospital? What the fuck? You know what I mean? So, they would.
That's fucked up. Like, and I'm sure most vets, like, you ask them, you could like record them and everything, and just like straight up ask them, like, would you rather have, services for vets, or even just like homeless people, or just the people in general, in your community? Or do you want the money spent on a $12 million memorial for, vets?
And that's,
I suspect a lot of them will be like everything else but the memorial.
Yeah, they could give they could not give less of a fuck about the memorial. They worry about their health and their family's health and shit, and they can't even get help. And that's fucked up, because they get sent to a hospital and end up with a bill, and then it's like, wait, what the fuck was the point of this special hospital for veterans in the first fucking place, So what I can tell is
scammy.
It's just a money laundering system of some sort. Like, the hospitals get money from the government, but if they don't hardly ever help the veterans, then what the fuck are they doing? You know what I'm saying? It's just funneling money to the employees.
Getting paid.
Yeah, I don't understand it at all.
They're getting a paycheck, and they get the virtue signal. They're like, look, we care about the vets, you, and then they like do that with the new recruits too. They're like, hey, if you fucking, risk your life and everything and murder for the U.S. government, you're going to be taken care of. But then when all is said and done, they're not really so taken care of, are they?
Right. Yeah, I would say if I know 15 vets, I would say 5 of them are practically homeless, or have been homeless, or are struggling. 5 of them are doing really well because they had families that already had money and shit like that. And then the other 5 would just, just like average everyday Americans that are living paycheck to paycheck, just barely getting by. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me that it was pushed in my face. When I was 17, I actually was going to sign up for the Army, but I backed out when they came to interview me, because you didn't have to be a high school graduate. You had to get a GED, and they were like, do you plan on getting a GED? And I told them I would. Then I dropped out, and I didn't get a GED. And then they came back asking, hey, you gonna come with us? And my mom's, over my shoulder, don't do it. And I didn't want to anyway. I just wanted to get the fuck out of her house. And so it was kind of like, a shot across the bow at her that I might do this. I might just run off and fucking, whatever. Because this was when the first Iraq or Iran war was going on in the 90s.
So before, like, a little before 9/11, or was that right after? Or
it was like a couple of years, 3 years before. I was 20 at 9/11, so I was 17. So yeah, a couple of years before that. So yeah, I'd probably be a dead soldier. You know what I mean? If that shit would have happened. So,
or you would be someone that was lied to. Like, yeah, here we've got all these benefits and everything for you, and then you would have a hard time using the VA. You would be going to the normal hospital, getting
having the same run around as all the
bill.
Yes, having the same run around as all these guys that went through that, because they went ahead and signed those papers and got shipped out. And I'm lucky that I didn't. What's that?
I will never forget the beginning of the pandemic, how the Democrats and the Republicans all rallied together, like the leadership, not the actual like supporters, but like the leadership. They did $1 trillion a day for 14 days into the markets, because the precious market. But then, and that was almost half of the cost of what Medicare for All would be for a decade.
Yeah.
Spent in 2 weeks.
Oh my
14
God.
trillion in 2 weeks, no question, no debate. Let's print money for the precious markets, and our fucking corporations and the elites, they gotta fucking, be taken care of. But then when it comes to the people, anything for the people, whether they're vets or homeless people, or just, people in the communities that are struggling, it's like, how are we going to afford that? We can't really do anything, it's going to cost a lot of money, guys. And
then we get a $1,200 check.
They did in the beginning of the pandemic.
Then we get a $1,200 check, and then like a $2,000 check, and maybe a $600 check or something like that. Wasn't that supposed to fucking help everybody out?
Yeah. Other citizens, like in other countries, like they still be getting checks from their governments, like, and it's like they got like 40 grand from their governments. And what do we do in America? We're like, how about a little more than 3 grand? How's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sound?
It just
You know, and
fucks me up.
I have neighbors. They're all grateful for it. They're like, "Oh man, I'm so grateful for it." But it's like, yeah, you should have more though. And
Right.
it's insulting that you don't have more.
Yeah, it's nice that they gave back some of this money, but it's still at the point where the people that it was helping, the people that most needed the help, it didn't. I mean, yeah, it helped them out some, but half the motherfuckers fucking lost houses and had to move, go live with family and shit like that. Like literally lost their livelihoods over this shit and fucking. Oh, it's no big deal. I mean, I'm glad I got $3,000 out of it. You know what I'm saying? And those are the people that probably worked through the pandemic. You know, or maybe didn't have pre-existing conditions or immunocompromised or whatever. Shit like that. Or had a job where they didn't actually work directly with people or something like that.
Yeah, it's really insulting. I mean, they're not well informed enough to like know what's happening in other countries and how well the government is kind of taking care of their citizenry. Like, this is not to say that all these other countries are like perfect.
Right.
They're doing like hella better than American citizens.
You can tell
they don't have the homeless problem and just the hatred that like there's so much hatred in America, like, and it's just insane. It's just I don't know.
Well, that hatred is bred into us, and it's weird because you would think it'd be the opposite since America is supposed to be a melting pot, but then it's like all these little fringe groups that hate each other, and then one of them becomes powerful, basically the fucking Christians, you know what I'm saying? And they have the biggest voice. I mean, I wasn't intentionally going there, but I just thought about it for a second. Was like, just epiphany, boom. That's pretty much it. The biggest fucking group gets to get their way. They have the most money. They have the most heads. They have the most voters. You know what I mean? So they basically always get their way, and it's kind of sickening if you really think about it.
Well, it would be nice if they walk the walk instead of talking the talk. Because, America, it's not a Christian nation, but we are a nation full of mostly Christians, and yet, there's all this hatred and divisiveness, and hate the homeless. And this isn't to say that there are good people out there, I've met plenty are helping the homeless, but what I experienced, dude, twice, 2 times, 2 different people tried. I'm living in a van on the side of the road. I guess people are annoyed from my existence and seeing me there. And 2 different people lied that I wanted to burn their place down just to get rid of me. Like that's really fucked up. You're accusing me of a felony. And one of these particular places was right next to a friend's house of mine. And it's like, well, why would I even Dude, my friend lives over there, and I'm able to use her shower and, occasionally cook and occasionally hang out with her. But, why would I burn your house down right next to hers and risk her house? But it didn't have to make sense. They're just let's make up some shit and call the cops, and hopefully we get lucky, and it's like, whoa, we're a Christian nation? Okay, sure.
Yeah,
whatever.
If you ever notice, it's always the people who are broke and down and out or just barely scraping by that you'll notice, hey, I let these people come to my house and shower or spend the night or, have a meal. But you never see that from some big opulent or someone that lives in a big opulent house that has a fucking $250,000 job and drives a Benz or a Ferrari. You know what I mean? It's never like that. You see them giving people $20 bills on the side of the road in their fucking little TikTok videos, but it ain't real help. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell whose intentions are what and who's signaling and who's actually trying to do things to make things better for anybody,
Yeah, I had someone in a nice house come at me once on Thanksgiving with a meal and everything. And they walked up to my van and offered me a meal, and I took it, and it was nice. But it was that was it. That was all the help they gave. It was Thanksgiving, and
yeah, that's nice of them.
Yeah,
but that's not a usual thing. Normally, the cops would have showed up and been like, "Move along, y'all." You know what I'm saying? So, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, I saw the cops. One of those people that accused me of like burning, like wanting to burn his house down. It was calling the cops on me every single day for like almost 2 seasons straight. Like I saw the cops for like over 100 days, just like every single day, just and it was, it got to the point where I was just like calling them names when I first like saw them. I'm like, I didn't say this particular word, but I was like, what do you assholes want today? Like when the cops showed up, to kind of harass me, and they're like, well, we got a call, so we got to check it out. And it's like, I could have probably sued that dude, but I never really get any help with anything. I'm having such a hard time with this court shit, and the subpoenaing and everything with the current stuff that I'm going through. I don't even know if I'll be able to sue the guy for defamation. Like I have a case and everything, but will I be able to do this myself, or will I be able to find any help? I don't know. Probably not. But anyway.
so yeah, that kind of sucks. Which I knew. I'm not legal brained or know anybody that does anything like that, so I really can't help you out. But going back,
you're okay.
Going back to what you were saying before, I went through some similar stuff. Like I was doing urban camping in San Diego for about 7 weeks, basically just living out of a car. And because me and my buddies, we rode the bus out there with a bunch of money, and we were just going to try to flip work and, send money back home. And then possibly if we could find some acid, we were going to ship that. But that shit fell through. But the 7th week I was there, I was with a guy that was known there to be a troublemaker or whatever. He was a drug dealer, and I was with him. We were going to pick some stuff up. We didn't even have anything on us, and the cops saw him, and they came and harassed him. They tore apart my little scooter deal, and basically they just, were like, here's your broken piece of shit back. I'm like, you're not even gonna fucking fix that or give me a tool to fucking put it back together. You're just gonna tear it apart and fucking leave me stranded out here. So what it was is basically that's what they do. They fucking come out there, oh, you're new to the place, we're gonna fuck you over so badly that you're just gonna want to get the fuck out of here because they don't want homeless in that area. I'm like, dude, I probably got more money in my pocket than you do, so go fuck yourself. I'm like, I'm on vacation, I'm here to get fucking stoned and hang out and chill. This is my vacation. Well, how can you just be on a 7-week vacation? Because I'm not a fucking piece of shit like you, motherfucker, giving them shit back. And by the end of the week, I'm in jail because, fucking I'm sleeping in a car, and they find me, and I get arrested. Me and my buddy get arrested. He was like, why you got to be a dick about this? And we both basically got beat up for it. And it's just a bunch of rigmarole. They took all of my shit. They took my camera, my little personal digital assistant. I had a Game Com and a Game Boy.
Never got it back?
No, they even took my clothes and I'm like, why the fuck do you want my underwear, motherfuckers? Can I at least get my underwear back? No. Seriously. Whatever.
Yeah, it's like a shakedown, but instead of a shakedown, it's like a harass down, and they just harass you.
Yeah, they robbed me.
You in jail.
They literally fucking legally robbed my ass. And then what's crazy is I had gotten caught maybe a week before that and gotten a ticket, and I had like fucking a handful, like a baggie with 8 bags of weed in it, and they gave me a ticket. You know what I'm saying? But I get caught sleeping in a car, and I get I go to jail for the weekend, and my bond is $27,000. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
27,000? Like, who the fuck did you murder?
Yes. Like, what the fuck? I was sleeping in a car on the street. I know that. Okay, so guess what? That's illegal as fuck. What's that?
So San Diego doesn't let you do that?
No, it's illegal in California to sleep in a car. And especially on a street and not in a parking spot. So, we just drove off into some little neighborhood like where I live, which is just a couple cul-de-sacs and some fucking non-connecting streets. So we just found a little spot to, park in front of some old people's house. Well, they didn't like that. They called the cops and we got popped for it, you know, and me and my buddy spent a weekend in jail over it. 72 hours because no judge is going to look at that shit. They're like, no. But guess what? They let us out at 11 o'clock p.m. Guess what time the buses stopped running? 11 o'clock
like
p.m.
9 or 10.
We had just missed the bus by like 10 minutes when they let us out. So
yeah, that same shit happened to me. Like every single time I went to jail, it's like no bus service after I get out.
The jail facility there, you can literally see the lights of Tijuana. It's that close to Tijuana. That's how far from downtown San Diego I was. It took like 3 hours to get back to downtown to where my homies were, so I could, you know, tell them, hey, I'm dipping out. I'm getting a bus ticket the fuck out of here tomorrow morning, which is exactly what I did.
I didn't know California did that because, like, I'm pretty sure Florida does the criminalizing of the sleeping in your car. But
it's basically
I didn't think California did that.
It's damn near everywhere, really, now.
You know, I got away with it. It wasn't necessarily illegal in Colorado to sleep in your vehicle. You know, if you're on, otherwise I would have been way fucked.
If you're on private property and have permission, like you have like a little, you know, camper or whatever, that's fine, no biggie. They don't care about that. It's just people will buy a little Winnebago or a minivan and black out the windows and sleep on the street in a parking spot, you know, shit like that. Which I can understand. If that car got hit while you're sleeping, you're fucked. But you know how many times in like the last 3 years there's been 3 houses where people have died because someone went through like a T intersection and just drove into someone's house because they were drunk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. How is that any more or less dangerous? You know, my girlfriend was up asleep on their 3rd floor apartment and her car got hit because it was parked in the driveway. Some drunk dude ran up on the curb, past the sidewalk, and rear-ended her car while it was in the driveway. You know what I'm saying? So shit like that happens.
They always disguise evil shit and like with like good intentions. You know, they're like, well, it's for your own protection. That's why we have to lock you up and put you in jail because, you know, there could be like, you know, another vehicle that hits your vehicle. And if you're sleeping in your vehicle, that's a risk to you. So that's why we're taking your freedoms away. Makes sense? You know, and it's like, no, it doesn't make sense. Fuck you.
Yeah, just, I don't know. It's a lot of the laws seem like they're built around do as I say, not as I do type of shit. But that's just, I guess that's just a human thing. I don't fucking know. You know, you see all these.
They're passing laws they passed laws in Colorado, like the parking like a RV in someone's driveway, like they have a house, or you have a friend that is homeless, but they got like, you know, an RV. They have passed some laws like that in Colorado or Colorado Springs, maybe some city ordinances. So some bullshit like that. But you could still be in a vehicle on the side of the road, as far as I know. But I mean, we shouldn't even really. It shouldn't even be a problem in America. I mean, I just go back to that $14 trillion that we poured into the market. Just a fraction of that money would fix homelessness all across America.
Well, what's crazy to me, and I know this is a little bit stretching reality, but okay, say I think there's like 2 million homeless people or something like that, maybe 3 million. But there's like 3 million abandoned houses across America. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So can't somebody do the math there?
Eminent domain that shit. And hey, the homeless person, this is your house now. You know, like just fuck. You know, just solve the problem.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand that a lot of homeless people have mental illness, and so a lot of them aren't capable of taking care of themselves. But what if you did like mentorships where it was like, you know, like some old guy, like some 60-year-old who just can't really work, but he can watch over somebody and make sure, you know, the dishes are getting cleaned and the fucking laundry's getting done and fucking the house isn't like falling apart. So then you have like, you know, like a roommate situation where someone can come and go as they please, but someone is also kind of making sure shit ain't fucking falling apart, or someone,
could, like, when we
someone
offer-
responsible person could be there, and maybe have like a fraternity house where there's like like a super or whatever they like, a house mother type situation where you got some, I don't really want to call them vagrants, but what people would call people that are in and out of the system and all that have a hard time having a steady place, but at least there's someone somewhere for them to be at. It may not be like a straight up halfway house, but more of their own personal shit. But if they got to fucking bug out, then they can, you know what I mean, or whatever. I don't know. There's so many different situations.
There needs to be a little more autonomy for those people with mental health issues, but that little mentorship, like if you're mentally stable and you're being helped, with this house, you could sign up.
Yeah, that's your way to pay your bills, so you can't afford to live, but you could, basically babysit some adults that need babysitting, because a lot of adults need babysitting, Otherwise, we wouldn't have fucking managers at Burger King and at Domino's, they would just be employees doing their fucking jobs, But you really can't do that.
There's a lot of like kind of like motels, where you like access it. Like I kind of like live in like a converted motel, like converted into like apartments, sort of. Maybe take over these places. Like there's one straight up abandoned one off of it's like right by the Colorado Springs Housing Authority too, off of South Nevada, and it's like an abandoned motel, and it has like 20 maybe 30 rooms, and they're all like little separate rooms. And then there's that like main office area in the center. It's kind of like a U shape. And, maybe have someone, kind of watching over people, helping out, some volunteers, some good people. We want to, screen some of these people because we don't want abusers in these positions. But,
and maybe have like
and then like
a healthcare
for
check.
The mental health people.
Yeah, have maybe like a checkup, like once a week. Somebody with a, some kind of degree can stop by there and, hey, do you need anybody to talk to for an hour? Yeah. I couldn't think of the word, but have them stop by once a week to just make sure everything's going good and they're not fucking climbing the walls and whatnot.
Or shit, like they could stop by every day, or like whenever they like, this would be their job,
yeah. Well, I was just saying because if you got
lenient on the drugs.
Well, I was saying if
we
there's
gotta be lenient on
drugs. somewhat anyway. If there's 40 apartments and you give each person half an hour a day, that's fucking a whole shift, and you're only 20 people in. So that's what I was saying, maybe a couple times a week, every other day or something. Because that, unless you got multiple people or something, you know what I mean? But,
just stop by and just like, hey, how are things? Do you need any help with anything? Not like doing your dishes or laundry, but like, just, and then maybe they don't need any help. So then they move on to the next door, and just kind of like, instead of harassing people, the other H word, just kind of helping them out. And not that I want to have all these like trap places or anything like that. And I want to have like people like shooting up or anything, but like if some homeless, like mentally ill person, being helped out with one of these programs goes out and gets on dope or something and they're messed up, and it's like, a lot of these places they'll be like, no, you can't spend the night here, and it's like, no, you should, be able to, go to your place and just, we know you're high right now, but just go home and, and enjoy your time at your house.
Yeah, why don't they deserve a safe place to sleep at night just because they're doing whatever? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Just like when I was a kid, I remember, I think my uncle, he's kind of anti-government. He's a little autistic, but he's very anti-government. But he would say, look at these fucking politicians. He would be like, they're sucking on their big brown dicks because they're cigars and fucking getting drunk every fucking day. Getting drunk every day. I'm sure that's where he heard it. He grew up in the 70s. He was a teenager in the 70s. So, he'd be like, they're sucking on their big brown dicks and drinking up all this alcohol, but you know, my hippie stoner buddies are all in jail for 20 fucking years because they got caught with, you know, an ounce of weed or something, and these motherfuckers get so fucking drunk that they fucking drive through a person walking across the street, and they're fucking, you know what I mean, they get like a year in of probation and shit, you know what I'm saying? And then
yeah, they get like manslaughter, and it's like, well, you're 5 years in prison, but good behavior, and it's only like 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with my stepdad. That's crazy. Yeah, fucking drunk drivers get fucking a slap on the wrist, and some dude that's just happens to be selling some shit that makes you feel good in a similar way with a lot less negatives to it gets fucking like a life sentence and shit. It's like fucking,
yeah, it's
baffling.
Punching down, you know.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It's about punching down and keeping people down like that, you know. And yeah, I don't agree with it, but I recognize the issue, you know. And I wish politicians would do a little bit more. Like Trump did that one, like, you know, he pardoned this one black chick over, like, it was some bullshit case. I forget all the details and everything, but like he did that for like fucking good PR, you know. Like that person was a pawn. I'm glad she got pardoned,
right,
and everything, but that was just like, you know, pretty much like playing political theater.
Yeah, because
you know,
what about the other 10,000 a year of those type of people that were going through the same type of shit? You know?
Exactly.
But yeah, you know, nobody hears about their story. So yeah, it's.
Well, you know, it made good headlines and everything, you know, and people were like, it gave, you know, Trump's face, you know, something to point at. They're like, well, here, look at this one nice thing, you know, this dude's a nice stand-up dude, you know, he did this one nice thing one time, you know, so yeah. You know.
Yeah, this one person got a weed charge, and he got him so that they don't have to serve their whatever 20-year sentence and whatnot. But what about the other, thousands and thousands of them, or the parents that signed their kids up for a school and used a different address and got in trouble and went to jail over it and shit like that? It's like, why did that even happen in the first place, and why aren't they
solved
fixing those issues?
A fraction of a, they've solved a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent of a problem. So good job, right?
Yeah.
You know,
like I say, it just baffles me that the amount of effort that's put in for the nonsense, or the low payback or whatever, you know, but when it comes down to it, the little minimum things that could be done, like if Biden fucking signed an executive order to, you know, release a bunch of this debt and all that shit, he could clearly do that, but, you know, then that might fuck over his billionaire buddies somehow, you know. So it might save the fucking country, but it might fuck over 10 people, whatever, you know.
You know, it's always about punching down, you know, punching downwards, and those 10 people, you know, like they got some, you know, political sway for whatever reason, you know, their voice counts more, you know, as opposed to, you know, the hundreds of thousands, millions of people in student debt. You know, it's so insane. But like, we could also, like, look, everybody can win. I guess, like, look, we could print money and we could pay those bills. The federal government could be like, well, instead of wiping the debt out, we'll just pay ourselves, you know, and print the money just like they did for the markets. But there's, of course, never discussion. And if you try talking about it, they'll be like, well, how could we afford it? You know, or, you know, what Manchin is doing now, like, oh, inflation, you know. And I know they did their little biggest, like, they did that, like, Social Security increase, and I'm kind of surviving on Social Security, so I got like a $48 increase this year in my Social Security. So instead of saying I get $800, I get to say, like, you know, I get $850 now a month. But the inflation, I think, was over 6%, maybe 7%. But then their increase was like 5.9%. And it's like, so you're still undervaluing everybody on Social Security right now.
So you end up with 50 cents instead of $50 worth. It
Well, inflation was greater than the increase they gave, but they're like, well, this is like the biggest increase in decades in Social Security, blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
It's just
yeah,
not
but
enough.
if inflation was 6.2% and your increase was 5.9%,
Okay, I got you. I was mixed up.
their
I thought-
spending power still went down.
Right.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but it's so messed up. You know, we're so sick in America. It's like, I just, it's so overwhelming when I like think about all like multiple problems. It's like, oh my God, how do we dig ourselves out of this fucking hole?
Well, a lot of people I feel like are so philosophical they can logic themselves out of using logic. You know what I mean? Like, well, we live in a world where we technically don't perceive reality. We interpret reality through how our brain sees light reflecting off of things and shit like that, until you can literally say, oh, well, I don't even know if I even exist. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's weird how we can.
I'm a little confused.
Okay, well, what I'm getting at is, we can philosophize to a point where we can make reality not make sense, so that when we do actually have to deal with reality, we don't know how to deal with reality. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, like politicians in general, I feel like they're just out of touch with reality for the most part. And maybe it's because a lot of them started out as lawyers and they've been arguing against and for things that for things they're against and against things they're for all their life. So they really don't really know what, you know what I mean? Like, deep down they know what they're for, but on the surface they can't be that person, because then you'll realize that person's a piece of fucking shit, and they can't appear to be that piece of shit. They have to pretend to be what they're not, but we can all see through that because we understand that their job requires them to do that. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, the facade is broken and we know it, but they're still playing along. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's just simply being out of touch. You know, they're just out of touch. They have their own little bubble, like, you know, all these elites and everything. They have their little parties and their group of elite friends and everything, and they hook their family members up with, you know, a government contract sometimes, like Chris Christie in Jersey with his brother-in-law that was a contractor. And after was it Hurricane Sandy that like tore up like New Jersey? There was like blue towns, like democratically ran blue areas that were like 80-90% decimated, that got like a fraction of the money that like other areas that were like 10 or 20% kind of, you know, damage across the city got like a majority of the aid. And it's, oh, well, the Chris Christie's, you know, brother-in-law does contracting out here, so, you know, like, I'm going to hook my family member up, you know, with some good business, because I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy, right? You know, so I gave this town that doesn't need as much money more money than the town that really needs a majority of the money less money, right? 'Cause I'm a good person. You know?
That type of shit just makes no sense to me. And I understand the concept of nepotism, but for it to be allowed, especially in government shit, it just baffles me. Like, or the Cuomo's in New York and shit. It's like, no, like, shit, they're gonna conspire service to do all this fucked up shit. They're fucking, they're family, you know what I'm saying? But
oh yeah, like that recent Pelosi shit, like how she was like asked like about, you think people, you know, in, you know, positions of government should be able to trade stocks? And she was like, well, yeah, you know, like, you know, it's freedom, right? You know, freedom. I'm a public servant. I should have the freedom, you know. And it's like, no, you shouldn't be given the freedom as a public servant. Public service should be a sacrifice, and you should be sacrificing some things, like, because the way that it is now, you just are all making bank every single year as normal Americans by the millions are suffering.
I hear you.
You're not.
But here's I'm not going to argue with that point, but I will add to, if they were doing the things that they were supposed to be doing, I would not even have a problem if all of them were billionaires. But, you know, they're not passing bills and keeping policies alive that are going to help us in the long run. You know, they're just creating an economy that's just going to collapse eventually because of the infinite growth strategy. And it's just basically cutting out the average person, because we're all going to be cut out by automation, basically. You know what I'm saying? So drivers are going to be, we're not going to need people to drive, because they're going to have those little like Domino delivery truck type things. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to have less drones. Or drones or whatever. And then I was just thinking of the thing that's probably the easiest to do, but well, okay, so the automation shit, and then robots for to take the place of like factory workers and whatnot. That's been going on for fucking decades, and it's just only going to get more and more as technology advances. So
yeah, and then the concentration of wealth is going to be in fewer and fewer hands, and then the masses are going to be in more and more destitute, and it's like we can't sustain this shit. Like,
it's literally going to be the point where a UBI is necessary. It's going to be the only thing that helps our economy function at all, is if they started a UBI.
That's kind of what it's looking like. That's exactly what it's looking like. And I don't think, like, I know the rich and the elites are fighting against that shit, but you keep on hoarding all the wealth, and eventually the thing that they hate and that they fear, that UBI, is going to be the only solution that makes sense eventually. Like, it's like, yeah, we can need to start just giving everybody a UBI because we just can't. This is unsustainable, you know.
That type of mentality starts at people that make like 50 grand a year. I used to be a welder, and I made like 50, 60 grand a year. And I would work alongside people making basically the same amount of money as me, and I'd be like, man, I'll fucking give half my check if fucking people were getting fed, bridges and streets were getting fucking fixed and all this shit. I would gladly give half my check, because I'm already giving 40% of it any fucking way through state taxes and federal taxes and insurance and all this bullshit. If we had fucking Medicare for all and didn't have to pay insurance and all this shit, I would literally give 50% of my check because we'd live in a basic utopia, you know what I mean? Nobody would be starving, nobody would be begging, nobody, you know what I'm saying? Shit would be getting taken care of. But then you hear motherfuckers respond, well, I don't want to give half my check away because I work hard for it. Yes, but don't you understand that if you gave half your check away for that advancement, for the actual progress, then your money that you have left is worth more, because inflation doesn't skyrocket, and the value of what you're getting out of it is so much more. Don't you like driving on streets that are smooth instead of the whole fucking time, and you got to replace your tires once a fucking year? How much more is that than fucking paying a little bit out of your check? You see what I'm saying? And they just, the math just never adds up to them. And I'd be like, look, if we had a 10% flat tax rate, federal tax rate for everybody, including billionaires and companies and blah, 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 then every state would have surplus money, and constitutionally they would have to pay that back to the people who are paying taxes. And that's only the people that are working. So, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense that they argue against that and the math. And then I would say, you know what? After a few years, they would actually have so much surplus, they would have to bring the taxes down, because everybody would have more money, be paying more money back into the system, not afraid to spend money. Instead of saving it all because it's more valuable, they can actually spend some of it and have a better quality of life and shit like that. But no, you want your quality of life that you have now instead of something better, and for a lot more people out there. You know what I'm saying? But that's just selfish as fuck. And to me, it's just blows my fucking mind.
That's how they're raised. You know, they're like, well, you know, like you keep every cent. You know, like we're raised like pirates in America almost. You know, it's all about you and fuck everyone else.
Hoarding and hiding. Yeah. Yeah, it's
you know, and it's hard to explain that to some people, like what you were saying earlier, like, you know, if you just, you know, give your half your check away, well, I work hard for my paycheck, I don't want, and it's that worker mentality, but you're a worker that's like drinking the Kool-Aid, you know, mentality, you know, and it's like, well, you know, I'm part of the system and I worked hard and I went through my suffrages. and so other people got to suffer and work hard as well. And that kind of mindset, is just, I think it's wrong. I mean, I guess people have the right to be greedy and selfish and everything, but it's just the conditioning of America. Like people, like I hadn't, I've mentioned this before in our chit chats, but I have a neighbor that was well, if there's like an owner of a business, that owner has the right to like all those profits. And it's like, well, what about the people that make those profits possible? They should be sharing a bigger piece of the pie.
At least some piece of it. It may not have to be a huge chunk. It doesn't have to be 80% of the profits, but something that compensates their productivity.
Well, the CEOs used to make like back in the day, like where our parents and your grandparents could afford houses and, afford shit on one job. The CEO made like 30, 40 times as much as their lowest paid employee at the company. But nowadays, it's like 400 to 500 times as much as their lowest paid employee.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's a little too much. We're, going into extreme greed territories and coming from a fucking Christian nation, that's all like Jesus, 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 Jesus saves, Jesus loves, but we're not really going to be like Jesus. We're just going to say it. It's so virtue signaling, just like the vets they use as pawns. They use 9/11, as a pawn, but they don't really, they're walking the walk and talking the talk are just different,
the model that you were basically saying, how CEOs basically make 500 or 1,000 times more than their employees. If anybody thought about that for a split second and realized, well, if he's making 500 times what an employee makes, wouldn't replacing him with 500 employees kind of help our business more than having him around? Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's a good point.
Maybe he makes good ideas and strategies, but guess what? If you paid him triple what the highest paid employee makes, he's still making the same fucking ideas. You know what I mean? So,
well, a lot of these CEOs run the companies down into the ground, and they gut the companies like a fucking vulture vampire, and then like Bain, fucking Mitt Romney, they went in there and they took all the fucking like assets of the company, made a bunch of money, like gutted the company, and was like, fuck the rest of you. And then people lost their pensions, when this would happen. There's probably a term for it, but it's like vulture capitalism or
that's
something.
Right. I've heard that term before. There's another more specific word, but that's the most common word.
And they did that shit to Hostess, like the Hostess CEO, like 12 years ago or so. Like there was some shit that went down with Hostess where like employees working 30 years and they're promised a pension and everything. The CEO comes in there, does his vulture capitalistic bullshit, and makes like $10 million or some shit. And then all these employees are out of their pension. And it's like, how is that even legal and possible? Like, how did that fucking happen? And that's a problem right there. And that's a problem that not a lot of people understand. They're just, what they know is that like they've been raised to like, well, working is important and you've got to work hard. And they play by the rules, and they're like, well, if you work at this company, we're going to give you a pension, but they're not told how they could be fucked, and they're not aware of it until it happens, until it happens. And then they're like, whoa, shit, did I just get fucked? And it's like, yeah. And then they're upset, and then no politician wants to help them out or address the problem. And then they join the millions of people that happened, that it happened to in the past before them, and then they're just another story. Maybe they're heard, maybe they're not. And since they're struggling and they got a life of their own, they're like, well, I got to move on. And I guess I'm going to take this job where they're paying me 3 times less. And I'm just going to, struggle. And, and that's the kind of American story. It's not the having a house with a white picket fence or anything anymore. It's sad. It's so sad. What were you going to say earlier with the news? I'm very curious. I've been wanting to mention it, but you were like, have you been keeping up with the news?
So one of my favorite childhood comedians, Louis Anderson, he's been in and out of the news with he had cancer. I mean, he's been overweight and had heart issues and da 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 da. But he just died recently. I think either yesterday or today, this morning, something like that. But when I woke up, the first thing I saw on Twitter was Meatloaf was an anti-vaxxer, and that he's dead now. It's like, well, is he dead because of COVID, or did he die of old age, or whatever? I haven't seen any confirmation, but basically a lot of people saying, well, that's what happens to anti-vaxxers, you know. It's like, well, that's kind of fucked up. So I wasn't sure.
Oh yeah, I noticed. I noticed the anti-vax sentiments out there, especially with the Democrats. You know, they're like, you know, maybe we should like lock people up and everything, and it's like, what? What are you talking about? Like, you know, that's so crazy that they could even consider that, and that they say that shit with a straight face. Like, even the supporters, they're like seriously considering this, and it's like, oh my God, weren't you guys asking for like relief with college and at least a public option? But a majority of you want Medicare for all and more relief, like with stimulus. You guys were asking for all that, but what do we get? We get this divide and conquer bullshit. Neighbors fight each other, you know, like your neighbor over there that's anti-vaxxer is the problem. And I'm not saying that not getting vaccinated, you know, isn't a problem. But look, I guess we live in America. We have freedoms. They have the right to refuse.
Right.
But there's all these other issues that are more important and more pressing, and that these motherfucking politicians ran on and just virtue signal that, because they're like, yeah, we're going to do these things for you, like Biden and the fucking public option. What the fuck happened to that? What the fuck happened to that? But now we're talking about fucking locking people up that didn't fucking, and then shaming them. Like, look, and look, like the beginning of the pandemic, there was people attacking store employees. That like those people should be shamed. Yeah, and the whole Karen and Ken thing came from that. And there's people assaulting other passengers on airplanes. You know, at least once a month I hear a story or something. Right. I catch wind of something. You know, and it's just so insane how they get us to fight each other and to misdirect what we really wanted into stuff that doesn't really matter. You know, like. And I'm not saying not getting vaccinated doesn't really matter, but it's like a lesser issue. It's like, yeah, maybe like housing and some more community, you know, health and everything. Like the federal government could totally print up money and get it to all these communities to help so many Americans out that need it in their unique ways. But instead we're like, ha ha ha, Meatloaf died, you know, like he should have gotten vaccinated, that stupid idiot, you know, like.
Well, my point about that was is that I just keep hearing those type of stories and I'm kind of becoming numb to it. So it's like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like, well, there's another one, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not anti-vax, but I totally understand why someone could have questions and concerns about the vaccination or whatever, because they have been lied to their whole life by our government. So why would they trust the government? But it's not really a government thing right now. It's more of a humanitarian thing, a scientific thing. It's less of a political thing in my eyes, because regardless of which fucking side you land on, which basically they're both the right in America, but we'll just say there's a left and a right. Regardless of whichever side you would land on, the fucking virus doesn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you're probably better off getting the vaccination. Okay, so if there's 6 to 12 people that have heart issues out of 100 million or a billion people, I'm willing to take that risk. I know that puts those people that actually react like that at risk, but a lot of those people already know, like my brother-in-law. I can't get mad at him for not getting vaccinated because he has known allergies and he's had reactions to vaccinations. So I get that. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of my family, they're all vaccinated, and to protect him. You know what I'm saying? Even though we've all fucking had it now, but we don't know if he has or not. I don't know if he's been tested for it or whatever when the other ones
Maybe
were
he got it and he wasn't symptomatic.
Right, he could have been asymptomatic, but my point is that there obviously, yes, there's certain people that we have to give them the benefit of the doubt, but religious exemptions and shit like that, those to me, I don't see that as an actual excuse or legitimate reason to give someone an out. You know what I'm saying? Now, if they're 5 years old and they're allergic to everything, yeah, totally fucking, that you can't force it on someone like that. Or like my brother-in-law, like he just literally, it could kill him just as much as anything. You know what I mean? So like, I get those concerns, but for the people that are just like, well, it's a political scheme and certain agenda, that type of shit, I'm just like, really, dude, come on now. Think about it. Why would fucking hundreds of thousands or at least tens of thousands of scientists be trying to dupe you if they're going to do it themselves? You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not a suicide cult type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I got vaccinated, but I'm personally not going to do the extra boosters. Like, I got the one vaccine, and then a month later, I got a booster. Right. But I'm kind of done with that shit. Like, you know,
I had planned on getting the booster, but then I got COVID, and they said I have to wait 90 days anyway. So now I'm just like, well, it's kind of pointless. So I get that, but
and the main thing that we could do, like is just kind of wear masks. Like, let's keep the masks going. Let's start, you know, making maybe better masks where there's like a clear plastic part in the front and the breathing apparatus is kind of on the side underneath your ears.
Where they have those
expelling air over there.
Darth Vader looking things. They have those. It's just they're a little more expensive, so they're available. The little filtered ones.
Let's just keep our germs in check, okay? Is that too much to ask? And then, like, with the schools, like when I had to go to public school, I had to get vaccinated, and I understand that, and we should just do that. We should do that. There's some students that are allergic to everything and they can't get vaccinated, but that's why everybody else does.
Right. That's you know? Basically what I was saying about my brother-in-law earlier, and I think that. Yeah, like the whole mandate thing, I get why so many people don't want that to happen because it is anti-freedom to mandate that you have to get something. But once something's been around, let's say it's 5 years from now, everybody who's been vaccinated is still fine. There's no huge drawbacks, you know what I'm saying? Maybe there's some fatigue issues or some shit like that or whatever. But I mean, that can come along with just about any kind of thing that you inject into your body or whatever. But for the most part, we'll just say it's the efficacy of it is 99.999% or something like that. And only, you know, a tiny, minuscule fraction of people were seriously hurt or died from it, you know. Well, imagine had that not been around in the first place. Imagine how many more people would have died. Imagine if that instead of 800,000, it would be like 8 million people. You know what I'm saying? Just for America. Yeah. So, you know, just that alone, I don't know. I got in an argument on Twitter with somebody over the risk, and it was like if 6 to 12 people had heart conditions and 400 million people got the shot. I'm sorry, there were 400 shots administered, you know, 200 million people or whatever. And 6 to 12 people either were hospitalized or died. I would literally give myself to be one of those people to protect those other millions of people. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would literally risk myself. I would risk being that person for those other people, to be like the test subject or whatever, you know, to make sure, because that, think about how many lives it affects, or, you know, I know 5 motherfucking people who have died from this shit. You know what I'm saying? 5 people. I
Yeah.
don't know I didn't know 5 people who died the rest of my entire life. My grandpa, my grandma, my other grandma. So there's 3. And then maybe like my girlfriend's aunt and maybe her grandma.
Yeah,
You
you're
know what I'm
like
saying?
struggling to come
So
up
yeah,
with
you know what I
like
mean?
those
Like,
guys.
and people I may not even have met, you know, I just know of, you know, but now it's like people I've spent time with are not here anymore because of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I got vaccinated. I just think that it's more, you know, and like I'm having a hard time kind of making my way through this forest of propaganda, like, because like one thing, like I did watch a few Jimmy Dore clips recently, you know, and he was like, he had a montage of the Pfizer logo. He's like, and this show sponsored by Pfizer, and then brought to you by Pfizer, by Pfizer, by Pfizer, by Pfizer for like a minute or two. It was insane, you know, and I'm like, yeah, they kind of stand to make $36 billion just kind of, you know, giving everybody boosters and not really solving the problem. Now, the scientists that they hire, the researchers and everything, those are more than likely, most of them are good people. But it's the sociopaths and everything like at the top, at the corporations that are like, you know, we got a problem and you know, why don't we like solve it, but not really solve it, but just sustain it.
Right.
And we can make a ton of money off that. And that's kind of like where, you know, with the boosters and everything, like if they had a different COVID shot, like not a booster, but it's like, yeah, we got like, you know, just like the flu shot. They're
working
not like, well, here's the booster for 2022 and here's the booster for 2023.
They're working on an all in,
different.
They're working on an all-in-one where it's just one shot, you're done with it, and you won't have to have any boosters. But that's going to take some time and research to do. It may take a year or 2 before that comes out. But
yeah,
until that comes out, it's
like,
really it's up in the air on what you're willing to take. You know, what risk you're willing to take for yourself or your family or whatever.
It's the boosters kind of seem like, you know, right now I'm kind of leaning towards, like, not to sound all anti-sciencey and everything, but it just seems kind of like a money-making scam at this point. Whether like people are freaked out over COVID, and they're like, and there'll always be a charlatan out there with a jar of snake oil, you know, like, oh, here's just the solution right here.
Right,
you know,
but
and
who are they making the money off of?
That.
Because
well,
I'm not
Pfizer,
paying for a booster shot, and nobody I know has paid for a booster shot. So the government is paying for that. Granted, that comes out of our taxes, but that's literally what I feel like we should be paying taxes for, is for our protection rather than for like the military, like overblowing the military, which they could kind of cut back about 90%, and we'd still be the biggest, most powerful military.
Insulting. Like we're kind of giving stuff away for free, yes, but somebody's making money off it.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously those companies are, but without them, what would there? Like I said, there'd be tons more deaths without it. So imagine are the people that were lost less priceless than that company or 3 companies specifically making a little bit more money than they normally would during the pandemic? And I get that a lot of people are like, oh, well, billionaires are making more money off of the pandemic because of the pandemic. Well, yeah, because like services like mail order shit and all that, delivery services are going to go skyrocketing, and the people at the top are going to make the biggest amount of money because, you know, they make the heftiest percentage of whatever those profits are. So obviously that's going to happen when the economy changes, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like it makes sense that certain billionaires are making certain money for certain reasons, especially like Bezos, because obviously if you don't want to leave your house, what's the easiest way to get shit? Order it on Amazon or a service like that. And most people are more comfortable with Amazon because it's been around so long. But other smaller companies now are blowing up because they are in the delivery service or those little restaurants that make stuff for other companies, like what are they called? Pop-ups. Yeah, like, you know, a pop-up is created. They get in touch with a restaurant. The restaurant actually distributes or delivers the items, or they just make the food and then you can order it from whatever delivery service. You know what I'm saying? So,
like DoorDash.
yeah, DoorDash or whatever. I don't use that stuff, so I don't. I'm a home cooker, but what I'm saying is that so many more people are using those services. Of course, those billionaires are going to get richer faster, but that's because of the service they provide. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't pay their employees better or have better insurance for their employees or free insurance or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't saying that. I'm just saying that when people are blaming the billionaires for making money or profiting more so during the pandemic, it's not really their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's they provide. A lot of them literally just happen to get into something right before the pandemic hit and just lucked into shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously Amazon's been around, but like I said, that's kind of the go-to. When, I mean, obviously we know that they weren't paying their employees as well as they could for the amount of profit that they're making, and they would work the fucking shit out of them and not let them take pee breaks and blah blah blah. We know all the fucked up shit that they've done, but had they not provided the service they provide, millions of Americans would be fucked. You know what I mean? They'd be just struck without certain household goods or whatever necessities.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna try to jump back a little bit about how the government is doling out money for COVID, but then like if you get cancer or anything else, like a broken hip, you know, you need dialysis or some shit, they're like, yeah, not so much help. Not even, because there's still like 30-40 million Americans without health insurance.
Yeah,
and it's like, but there's
scary.
one thing we're going to help out with, you know, and it's like, what? So you're going to help out with this one thing, but every other sort of, you know, physical ailment that could occur, you're just not going to help out with. They're like, yeah, just this one thing, you know, and it's like, and that's like, of course, that's so American too, because we love to do that fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a problem. Like, look, we solved this tiny little bit of thing. You know, we have a puzzle with 1,000 pieces, and we put 2 pieces together, and we're like,
yeah, we got the
done.
Corners. Yeah, we found the corners. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
We found the corner and the one piece that goes to it. Done. You know?
Yeah, and it's really, I think that has a lot to do with education, because firstly, the majority of the population aren't educated enough to even notice that that's what's really going on, that we're being, look over here, and, you know, we're being told that certain information is a fact, and we're being told that, you know, that you should do things a certain way, and, you know, as a population, we're realizing that shit isn't how shit should be done. It's we're worth more than the hours we put in at work, and people are just getting fucking generally fed up with it, regardless of whether they're conservatives or Democrats or fucking libertarians or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We all know that there's some shit going on, and we're all frustrated and pissed off, and we're all blaming it on each other. And it is like that. It's like that meme with the cookies, where there's like the dude sitting on the like hill of cookies, and then there's like a guy sitting there looking at his one cookie on his plate, and then there's like maybe a black guy or a Mexican or something. He's like, well, he's looking at your cookie. You know, it's that same shit, you know. But at the same time, that doesn't fully cover exactly what's going on either. Like I said, like I was saying about the whole billionaires providing a service, I'm not saying that they are worth more as people because of it. I'm just saying that it's no wonder that they're profiting extra because of the pandemic. That to me is like something that someone's like, well, it's kind of crazy how that they're profiting so much. No, it's not actually. That's how economies work, you know. So I don't blame them for profiting. I only blame them for not hooking up their fucking employees for working their ass off, for giving them the profits that they make because of the service that they provide.
Not every billionaire is providing a service that's like really helping.
No.
Like,
I'm just saying the ones that do.
Like,
I'm not saying just any billionaire. I'm saying the ones that provide a service that actually helped during the pandemic, or even millionaires, like, or whoever, you know,
like fuckers like Elon Musk. He's not really providing any sort of COVID relief. He has his like little fantasies of like what the semi or whatever, and like this fully autonomous, truck and everything, and blah blah blah. And it's not even, there's not even a working functional prototype, and he's making like a ton of money. Although I heard recently, just like because of some stock prices fell, he lost a lot of money. But like that dude is like way richer now than at the beginning of the pandemic, and he's like just going around with his little scams and everything. He's like, oh yeah, SpaceX is going to be cheaper than the shuttle program, and it's like 10 times more expensive, and then he goes on with his fucking Starlink and whatever, the solar roof panels, like look, we're going to make these small panels, and they're going to be like shingles and everything, and it's going to be like look aesthetically pleasing and everything. And he's like, it's all like just such a scam and everything. It's like, oh man, it blows my mind.
Well, some of that is actually a good idea, especially the solar panel roofs, because if they can get that to work, that's a great idea. I mean, it's probably in a super early stage, which it's not like solar roadways or whatever, but
you need to watch some Thunderfoot, man.
Oh, I do. I pay attention to stuff like that, but not all of that. Not 100% of the stuff is negative. Not saying that what Elon is doing is great, but what I'm saying is the ideas he's putting out there, which creates competition, which creates, well, if Elon Musk is going to make solar panels, we need to make solar panels. What's that?
Like the ideas are old though, like the Hyperloop. That's a really old idea.
Oh yeah.
I think 120 years old.
Some of that shit is just bunk ass garbage. But what I'm saying is the effects of the ideas it puts in people's head. Well, this is the way it should be done, or well, we could do it this way, and then boom, now you have something that actually works 10, 15, 20 years from now because another company tries to beat him out at his game, and they actually make something that works. You see what I'm saying? So.
Like, I'm not against solar panels, but like making them like smaller and just, it seems like a bigger pain in the ass to install or to repair.
Oh yeah. Well, what I'm saying is
3x3, 4x4 panels.
What I'm saying is if you just put a solar panel, like 8x4 solar panel on your roof, and it was shaped like shingles, and you just place it there, however many you put up on your roof, and they all fit together like shingles and have a shingle-like pattern, or what I mean, that would be neat. I'm just saying that
it would.
His ideas aren't all perfect, but they have good nuggets of ideas in them, is what I'm saying.
I think in Thunderfoot's breakdown of that shit was that Elon was showing these like brown colored solar panels, and it's like solar panels are colored a certain way so they could gather as
so
much
they can hang
light
on
as
to the
possible.
light, right.
So then when you try to do Elon's aesthetically pleasing, this is going to match, the typical roof tiles that we put
I just meant
on
the
it.
shape, not the color, but yeah.
And then the efficiency of the solar panel goes down. And it's like, yeah, they I guess they look ugly like the typical solar panels we have, but that's like the best that we got. Maybe there's some creative places out there that have made some trim for the solar panel, so like the design and everything looks cool. But like it is what it is. It doesn't need I think it looks fine. Like motherfuckers going around like, oh, look at those solar panels, they're so tacky, and it's like, fuck you.
Right. I don't get that type of fucking mentality where it's like, oh, it looks ugly, it's an eyesore.
It seems
it's
like a good idea.
Saving the planet, you goofy reject.
Making them aesthetically look pleasing and everything. It seems like a good idea, but like I think Thunderfoot, if I'm remembering correctly, he's like, well, they reduce the efficiency if you tint them a certain color because they're not getting as much sunlight.
Yeah, and
and
that
they're
makes
not
sense.
getting that full spectrum.
But there's probably a company out there that hears that idea and goes, well, we could just make them this way, and we could just say they are 20% more efficient than his version, and people will buy the shit out of ours. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe the idea, it won't work fully, but it gives people ideas out there a reason to make their version and a better version of it. You know, like, I hate to use this as an example, but there's a robotics company out there that they give out all their schematics and stuff, is all their programming is all open source, and you can, if you have the general knowledge on how to build robots, you can use their software.
Use their open source software.
Yeah, you can use their software and all that stuff together to make yourself like these military grade like drone dogs and shit like that. And it's innovating what the military can do now because of all the competition between people who are tinkering with those robots in their spare time, or maybe they have a job where they work for, you know, whatever, you know, military.
Well, yeah, innovation is
whatever.
is typically a good thing, and inspiring that and everything. I just think, like, unless you could, you know, like, solar panels are going to look the way they do just to be as efficient as possible, and any tinting to it, unless there's some sort of special plastic, you know, that.
Hold on, I got
like see, tinting. I don't think that would ever be that technology. And if that, like, plastic, you know, could let all the sunlight in, but then give off like a brown, you know, look and everything, and it's all going to flow together. And
someone may be able to figure that out. What I was going to say is,
well, it would be expensive. Like, that sort of material would be really expensive, I think. You know, so, you know, like, maybe science and research will come up with a solution one day, and then they're like, yeah, well, this one solar panel costs $10,000. And it's like,
yeah, but then a year later it costs $8,000. Then a year later it's $4,000. And then a year later it's $2,000. Then a year later it's $1,000. And then a year later it's, or 5 years later it's $500. And then it's just,
a lot of these companies
then it's just installed on
and
houses automatically because it becomes the norm. So give it 20 years and it might be the norm, you know what I'm saying?
It might be, yeah, and we should definitely research green technology, like, but producing these solar panels, there needs to be mining of these rare materials that are also toxic, you know, so it's not as green as people think.
Right, I get that.
And that's why, like, maybe we should just focus on building some thorium, thorium reactors.
That's what I was going to get at before I went brain dead for a second there. So the innovations that Tesla has made, people are like, well, the batteries have issues and and they aren't going to last forever, and they aren't as efficient as they could be, and all this other stuff. And now there's a company out there that has a battery that they've made is basically 10 times better than that, and it's going to come out pretty soon, maybe the next couple of years, maybe this following year or something like that. I know they have like prototypes ready, they just aren't on the market yet, but their cars are supposedly going to be basically 10 times better when it comes to the battery efficiency and the wear and tear on the car. And they're supposed to be
skeptical of that.
Well, I'm just saying that's why they aren't on the market yet, because they haven't gotten to that point. But the battery technology does exist, and they're just trying to figure out a way to make it cheap enough that an average person, because their first models are going to come out like $150,000, right? Well, that's what Tesla do. But then they got them down to like $40,000-$50,000 for their base models. So if they can do that and beat out Tesla by even double the efficiency right there, right, that's innovation. And then if a company comes out every 5 years doing that until all the new all the old companies that have the money that have to re-innovate themselves as electric companies, you know, obviously Ford's doing that, Chevy's been trying that for years, just struggling, you know. But let's imagine if that car company open source shares their development process and whatnot, so that everybody can actually, you benefit from that and work on it and make their version of that better, imagine what would happen. See what I'm saying? It would just be exponential.
Yeah, but like, how long has Tesla been a thing? Like, I think like the best solution, the quickest solution to try to cut down our carbon emissions right now is the molten thorium salt reactors. And then just getting replacing the grid. We're still running a fucking coal plant out here in Colorado Springs and shit.
Oh yeah,
it's right by that soccer field.
I'm not saying that was the one thing that we should do. I'm saying that there's hundreds and hundreds of things that we need to switch over and fix and modernize and do. But I'm just saying I was just saying little innovations lead to big innovations. You know what I'm saying? If someone's we could do this, and then someone's like, why didn't they just do this? And they're like, some other company's like, well, we could do this even better than that, and then fucking 10 years later, it's like we have fucking everybody has a goddamn iPhone now or something equivalent to it.
And electric vehicles, like, they would benefit from the wireless charging and powering lanes that I had suggested.
Yeah, I love that idea. Those are
very
awesome.
Practical.
Right.
Like that would be 100% practical. I don't know about design, but and then you could put solar panels like Germany does, like on the side of the road
or on over parking lots and stuff like that. Yeah. I love all those ideas.
And the electric vehicle manufacturers would benefit off that too. Like, they don't need to have as big batteries in their vehicles,
so they can save money and make their car lighter and more efficient.
Make more vehicles with less resources. Spread that lithium out a little bit, and then and yeah, we could change things and then make the electric vehicle more desired. Like the wireless charging powering lanes is just that idea. Like, it is making electric vehicles more desirable, because if you could just drive around and charge your shit, or power your shit, at least in certain areas, and then maybe there'll be like a dead zone for like 100 miles, but then you start getting near a city that has this infrastructure, in it, and then you start charging up again as you're zooming around.
Which would make people want to live in your city because, I can get basically free transportation as long as I can afford a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And then they could have, like, I think you mentioned this, but like a shared vehicle program. Maybe I heard it somewhere else, but where basically you don't own your car, you just use a car. Like, you go to the garage and
you heard it somewhere else.
Not rent, but you pay your $10 for the day and you fucking get your car to go to work. Yeah, and then you come back and you drop it off, and you don't have to worry about it being cleaned out or anything or whatever. Kind of like a regular car rental service.
Well, you should probably clean up, like, maybe.
Well, I'm not saying you should junk the car. I'm just saying you don't have to worry about when you go to the car to get in it. It's not going to be filled with fucking McDonald's wrappers and shit. You're just going to get in it and drive to work, and then work all day and get in it, drive home, and
because you schedule the time for Wednesday
or whatever,
on the 10th or whatever, and then someone else, Susan has
or
11th,
or they'd have enough where everybody on the block could have one and they wouldn't run out, because we have 3 cars for every goddamn person already. So I'm just saying, there's so many ideas that could be used that could make everyone's life. I'm not saying we should live in a utopia, but we could be much closer to it if people weren't so adverse to change and progress, and making a little more effort and putting in a little more and like their own share, because if you ever notice, communities or people that are in communities do a lot better than people on their own. You know what I'm saying? So like, think about like bands or artists that have like a lot of connections and, like a big, huge group of people that back them, they do a lot better than just solo artists that are independent, normally. I'm just saying, for the most part. I mean, obviously there's going to be anomalies or whatever, but if you think about if people were more communal, we evolved to be, basically, if we actually helped each other like we say we do, and actually, instead of just giving to just random charities, looked into the charities and how much they, put in, put back into the community and how much they really do for who they're
Isn't there a
supposed
website
to.
that keeps track of that?
Oh yeah,
I
there's
forget
multiple.
the name of it.
There's multiple sites like that. I'm not sure what they're called, but if you just type
Yeah, I
in,
can't think of one.
if
Off
you
the top
type
of
in
my
like
head here,
charity tracker or something like that, I'm sure it would figure, it'd find, you'll find it.
and check a few sources out because there could be a few poisonous ones out there.
Oh yeah,
that are
there's
like,
there's
yeah,
plenty
sure,
of
this
them to look
charity is,
into.
great.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is that, and people can literally actually do things like get out there and actually move their ass. And I feel kind of shitty saying it because I don't do it a lot, but I feel like when there's a certain things that, this is going on in town, I'll go drive by there and honk and wave and, give them the thumbs up, just, motivate them or whatnot. Or, I don't do like, I don't really pull over and hang out and do all that type of stuff. But, if it's a cause that it's worthy, I might drive by it 5 times in high traffic areas and, make a big, loud eruption just to get people's attention for them and whatnot, which I feel like is the minimum I could do. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I used to deliver pizzas, so we'd have stuff like that downtown, and I loved doing that. You'd see like whatever cause it would be, they'd have their signs up, and you'd see all these cars just driving by, and I would just slow down and put the arm out the window with the thumbs up, and then you get the whole crowd just waving their signs and chanting or cheering or doing whatever, and then all the cars would driving by would, so then, I felt like that was
excited when
right. I mean, it may not be much, but it's showing appreciation for them, and I feel like not a lot of people do that anymore. It's like, oh, well, just keep your head down and don't pay attention to anybody else, and just that little bit is enough to those people to realize, hey, there's at least somebody out there thinking about us. It may not be everyone, but it's a start, so I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that humans could do and be a lot less selfish. And granted, I feel like I'm very selfish myself, but then I look at other people and I'm just like, holy fuck, do I look like that? What's that?
Donated you just told me you donated $500, and you're like, yeah, well, that was a fraction of what I made, but still, that's more than I could give, and I mean, you're selfish, I guess,
and I don't.
You're not. You think of others, all right?
Well, I'm just saying, comparative to how I feel about myself, because I sometimes feel like I'm lazy, but then I compare the amount of physical work I'll put in towards something to get something that I have to get done, compared to someone else, and I'm just like, well, they're a lazy piece of shit, but I'm a lazy piece of shit. So what? You know what I mean? Because then I look at other people that are putting in way more effort than me, that are out there in the streets talking to people, or actually living their dreams because they actually stuck to it. I get a good idea, and then I learn all about it, and then I'm like, I'll just move on to something else. What's that?
There's like that person out there, they were told to get a student loan, and they got the student loan, and they went to college, and they got this fucking like master's degree, and they got a job in the field. But that's not everybody. I would say that's 1/5 of people. Like, the system is working for a very small percentage of people, and they're like, well, what's the problem?
Well, those type of jobs are leaving the system now. That's the problem. What is it? Vocational jobs or whatever, where they're, welding, foundry work, factory work.
We still do that in America.
Barely.
I thought they outsourced everything.
Yeah, there's a few kind of rundownish factories in our town. One of them's actually one of the biggest in the U.S., but a couple of them are still hanging on, just barely getting by. You see less and less cars in their parking lot every year because they're they got to let go of employees because they're not making the same amount of profits or whatever, you know. Excuse me.
Yeah, they're good. They're getting run out, you know, and
yeah, because
a lot of the manufacturing is being headed to China, and not saying that they, you know, they're horrible people in China. I'm just saying that the politicians in America are the ones that are like handing everything to China, and then like half the politicians are, you know, also like Trump did this shit. Trump bought Chinese steel for his fucking buildings, and then he's like,
then talk
China,
shit about it.
China.
We can't buy their Chinese
like,
steel. Wait, what? Yeah, just
and that shit worked. Like there was a lot of people that were like, yeah, you know, my hat that says MAGA on it, you know, it's made in China and everything. But you know, I'm glad that Trump is like, fuck China. You know, and it's like, what?
yeah.
Like, oh my God, are you thinking? Are you using your head? Did you really think about that? Or are you just mindlessly going about life? And that's kind of like, people are so worn down and overworked. And that's kind of, you know, like, you know, a lot of people are just mindlessly going through life, not really critically thinking about stuff. And like, well, yeah, sure, my MAGA hat says China on it, but that's just capitalism right there. And we're capitalists.
Yeah, that goes back
China, you know, and it's like, what?
It goes back to what I was saying about the education thing, that we're not educated to understand or to critically think, or we're not educated to
critically think, pretty much, you know, like, to sum it up.
Well, even like, we're not motivated to think. We're motivated to not think from a very early age.
Yeah.
Like, I remember hearing, you know, kids are to be seen and not heard and shit like that all the time. It's like, what if I'm asking questions that you have answers to and that would help me benefit my life at, you know, at a younger age to know, but you just don't want to tell me, or you don't want me to, you know, you want me to figure it out on the hard way, or, you know, put more risk in my life, or you could just make it easy and, you know, share how you feel with a child, or, you know what I mean? Like, I remember the adults in my life, I would constantly ask questions to, and I would either get shut up and don't worry about it. That's for adults to understand and not you. You're a child type of shit. Well, then explain it to me like I'm 5 then, you fucking assholes, you know? And that's what, that's one thing I had to do for my daughter. I probably kidified a lot of the stuff that I told her as a child, but if she asked me something seriously, I wasn't going to bullshit her, because I want her to live in reality. And there's too many parents out there that had what they say, or basically just lie to their kids about what's going on. And it's just like, if you just talk to your kids, like, be straight up with them, they'll actually be smarter when they grow up, because they'll understand what the fuck's going on, you know. I missed out on that.
One memorable memory I have with my father is I was really young. I don't know how old I was, but, you know, like maybe like 10 or something, you know, a little before, a little after, I don't know. But I was driving with my father. I'm in the passenger seat, and my dad's like tailgating everybody. My dad was like an aggressive driver. And anyway, we were going through a toll booth out in Chicagoland somewhere. There's so many fucking tolls out there. And I was like, and it was a simple question. It's like nothing profound or anything, but I was like, what happens if like the power goes out? You know, and my dad was like, you know, maybe he wasn't thinking too well, because I could kind of think of a solution to that, like, you know, well, generators, you know, but he was like, well, that's a good question, Chris. And maybe he didn't feel like answering, who knows, but he's like, I don't know. And it's okay to say that sometimes, like when you're like probably talking to your daughter and you're being real with her and just straight up. And sometimes you probably reply with, you know what, girl, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, you know?
Actually, it'd be more like, I don't know. Let's look into that. We got Google. Let's figure it out together, you know? And we do that all the time.
Yeah, nowadays
like yesterday she was over here when she was hanging out after she got off work. And she's like, do you know about this? And I was like, no, but we're about to find out about it. Oh, it was called reverse dieting, which is not a very good thing. And a lot of people do it. reverse
dieting sounds horrible. What the hell? Like taking out on McDonald's or some shit?
No, it's actually not. It's not what it sounds like. It's basically adding calories into your diet and then over a long period of time, and then drastically dropping off and starting back over. So say you're at the end of the cycle,
your body
to being able to process those carbs, but it doesn't say anywhere in there that you have to exercise to make up for thermodynamics of a body. So if you're eating more carbs, you have to, or eating more calories altogether, you're going to have to work out more, or, you know what I'm saying, more often to make up for it. But it doesn't really say that. So I had explained to her.
Well, I guess like maybe the thinking that is like what I was going to say is like, you're like increasing your diet from like 1,500 calories to 2,200 calories, kind of getting your body used to that.
Right, but it doesn't
still maintaining your 200-pound weight or whatever.
It doesn't explain it like that.
But then you drop off,
and then
you start losing weight, right?
Well, you would think that's what it's about, and that's what I thought it would be when I first started to read it. I thought just what you thought, 1,500 up to 22, which would probably be about, I think mine is like 2,380 or something. But it's more like you start at your 2,380 and then you go up until you get to 3,000, and then you drastically drop back down to, just under like 2,000 or something, and then you go back up to 3,000.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying, and that's supposed to help lose weight or something.
Right. Well, in theory, if you're working out, you would be gaining muscle, and then the muscle you gain eats the fat faster, if that makes sense. So you lose weight by gaining muscle. But they fail to mention that you have to work out continuously, like P90X style, every fucking day to be able to eat those type of calories. Like if I want to eat 3,000 calories, I have to work out for like 70 minutes. So,
dude, like
my elbows are hurting, knees hurting, hips hurting.
And I was dancing for like 5 to 6 hours a night, a couple times a week. I would literally like have like a 5,000 like calorie meal and like really not gain a pound except from the weight that I just ingested.
Right. Well, yeah, if you're moving like that, if you're that active, then of course that's by all means. But what I'm saying is it was saying with the American diet and how sedentary we are, that you could just manipulate your metabolism by doing that. And I was like, that's maybe possible, but it doesn't make sense in like thermodynamically, like how you burn calories. If you're sedentary and you eat more, it doesn't mean like you're going to
gain a bunch of weight and like lose weight, like is like what I'm thinking the results are going to be. Like I understand the thinking, like we're going to get our body used to this, and then we're going to drop it off, and then it's going to like eat the fat, and we're going to lose all this weight. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, but then you're starving and but what I was telling my daughter, what she could do instead is find out what her calorie intake is at her body weight, and then because she just had a baby and she's trying to lose that that extra baby weight or whatever. So I told her she can basically fluctuate. So you average out your calories. So if your calories, let's just say 2,400 to make it easy. So one day you do 2,000, then you do 2,400, then you do 2,200, then you do 2,400, then you do 2,000 again, and you just repeat that. So it's like you average just under what you should be doing. So but you're getting your body used to having less and then more, then less, then more. Because in nature, that's what really happens. Just like, say 100,000 years ago, picking berries. Oh, I found a chicken. Oh, we're having chicken tonight. But tomorrow we're picking berries again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that.
I guess that, and that's not as drastic as I was thinking. It's kind of more subtle. So where the average is lower, but some days you're eating a little bit more, but other days, like 2 or 3 days, you're eating less.
Right. And that's what helped me lose a lot of weight and keep it off, because 3 nights a week we'll have not like meatless, but we'll have like it'll be like more vegetable
Like a
type
light dinner?
shit. Yeah, it'll be like say like baked chicken thighs and then like baked vegetable with just like 5 or 6 veggies all mixed in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's
well,
like
that's
your
one
daily
thing we're not
allowance
really-
all
we're-
in one meal. You know?
We're conditioned to be stupid and to be hateful in America, and also to pig out. Like, to pig out on all these fucking grandiose meals. And it's like, I've at least been maintaining in the low 190s right now. But, and I've been buying less chicken breast. It's kind of like the main meat that I eat. I used to buy, you know, maybe like 3 or 4 of those rectangle packages, kind of like they got 6 breasts in them. I used to buy like, you know, a few of them a month, but now I'm just pretty much buying 1 a month now, and I'm just kind of eating lighter, and I'm not making this big grandiose meal. But occasionally I do, like I got a chicken breast in the freezer, and when I cook that thing, I'm gonna have stuffing and some mashed potatoes and carrots and peas, and it's gonna be like a fucking meal. I'm gonna offer it to my neighbors. But for the most part, like, you know, like last night I had this salad with some yogurt, and I'm trying to struggle to think of anything else. I did have 1 can of beefaroni yesterday, I guess, as well. So, but that was kind of like what I ate yesterday. You know, today I'm probably going to eat something light like that too, and maybe I still have some more vegetables in the fridge, so I'll have to make another salad before, because I actually got this salad stuff over at the pantry, and the food pantry stuff doesn't really last that long. By Monday, it would probably be like moldy or starting to mold, so I need to fucking polish this shit off too. So I'm definitely going to have some more salad tonight before that shit goes bad. You know, and yeah, just like, you know, a few nice meals, kind of like how humans, you know, like you were saying earlier, how humans came to be. They would find a wild animal, you know, and eat it, but then it's picking berries tomorrow and probably the next day.
Right, and
You know?
I'm not saying that that's what we're like. We're not starving ourselves with nuts and berries and shit. But I'm just saying, like you said, like one meal a week might be like a nice Sunday dinner or whatever, and then yeah, the rest of the week it's, you know, just kind of minimal. And so I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like you said, too many people have to have that extra, and I know people that complain about their weight and fucking just eat like they just don't give a fuck and then complain about their weight, and it's like, well, you're doing that to you. So I just don't listen. I try not to listen to those people. Or
well, it could, you know, everything in life, like it could be an addiction, you know, and we are addicted to these unhealthy, highly processed, fatty, salty foods, you know, and people just have a hard time, like it's a habit they got when they were a child and in their young teen and young adult years, and it's really hard to break. I guess, you know, I could relate with my cigarette smoking, and I guess I kind of like food. Like my buddy just said, he was at I was kind of replying when you were talking with a text here, and he's like, yeah, I'm at Taco, or I'm at Wendy's up the road from me, and I was like, oh man, one of those like Wendy's old fashioned, you know, like fuck it, make it a cheeseburger, like sounds really good right now. But I need to focus on and be a little self-disciplined and just not ask, you know, for any food, and hit up my fridge and eat a little healthier. And it's just that self-discipline that, you know, Americans don't have, you know,
right.
like
well,
when it comes
that's
to
kind of
food,
what I was
I'm
getting at.
not saying they're just not self-disciplined. Even me, like, dude, I've been trying to lose weight this past year. I was like almost 210 pounds, and I've lost like 15 pounds. But I'm just kind of maintaining it there, and I want it to be a little bit lighter, but I haven't gotten there yet. And I am a little disappointed in myself, but at least I haven't undid everything that I've done. So I essentially lost a pound, you know, maybe like 1.2 pounds or something a month. That's whatever.
That's
If you
the
want to
most
average it
healthy
out like
way to
that.
do it, is to gradually, over a long period of time. Firstly, your skin won't fucking be hanging off your body, and secondly, it's easier to condition yourself to be more active and keep continuing to eat right if you continue to gradually see progress over time. Because when you do this, like, lose weight real fast and then your progress slows down to like a plateau, then you basically, a lot of people just quit, you know what I'm saying? And well, I was doing so good and then I just stopped. Well, you got to change up your routine to continue to have progress. But if you go at it at a more gradual rate, you'll continue to see progress. So even though you may not have lost 30 pounds over 2 months, if you lose 20 pounds over 5 or 6 months, firstly, it's healthier for your body to do it that way. And secondly, you still have more to lose, or gain in my eyes, which how I call it. When you lose, you gain. But if you still have that room to progress, it feels more like you can continue on more easily. And then once you get to where I'm at, where I've lost the weight and I just want to keep it off, that's the hard part, is to continue to be strict about it. And every once in a while, like, my daughter works at a popcorn shop, so she'll drop off a big bag of popcorn and I'll fucking go haywire on it. But once it's gone, I'm not thinking about going to get more, and I'm not paying for that shit, so whatever. So
It was a nice little treat, It was like,
yeah, so I'm not saying that everybody's got to just never indulge, but what I'm saying is you have to know your limitations and think about it, and put a lot more effort than most people are willing to put into it, whether it's their diet, their political thinking, their spiritual thinking, their education, or whatever.
yeah, well, like, not that I wanted to really talk about this that much, but the protesting, the crappy business that I was doing, I only did like 2 protests, but I actually had to walk there, and the walk is uphill. Like, I am like uphill for like a half a mile, no matter which way I zigzag, and it actually is a really long walk. And I was like checking my weight, and I made it to like 189, late November or early December. I was checking my weight, and I think I did make a comment on my Twitter. I'm like, oh, look at all this weight that I'm losing because of this. This is great. I'm going to keep this shit up. And I'm really looking forward to going back to protesting. And right now I'm kind of hiding. Like, I did that weird human interaction upload that I did back in November. It was, I recorded on November 13th, but it was uploaded on the 15th. But anyway, like, I was talking about going to that one goth club that I was checking out. Or they have it's not a goth club, but they have a goth night on Sunday night. But I've been kind of hiding since this dude has this false restraining order against me. He tweaked me the fuck out with trying to arrest me in early December. So now I'm just like, well, if I go out, like, he could learn where I want to go by watching that video and try to bait me into jail, somehow. Like, I'm kind of like been kind of hiding since this bullshit restraining order. So I can't wait until it's over, so then I could go out and actually start dancing. And because that's one thing I think that would definitely logically tip me in the right direction of losing weight, is the being somewhat self-disciplined on my meal, and then some extra exercise. And I find dancing really fun. I know I talked about working out last time, but I kind of need to force myself to do that, to like pump iron and lift weights or whatever. But I think building muscle is important, but also the cardio of going out dancing is also important.
Well, yeah,
and I find the cardio super duper fun. Right.
I was talking to my daughter about this, and she was telling me about all this cardio that she was planning on doing, and it is good to incorporate it into your exercise routine, because helps out your heart in a lot of ways, especially if, like, my family has a lot of heart issues on my mom's side. So that's one thing that she needs to really look at, but to not overdo it, because you can overdo it. But really, if in her situation, she's trying to lose quite a bit of weight. So for her, it would be more wise to do more low impact weightlifting, just like lighter weights, but, for a decent amount of time than the cardio, because you get cardio in those workouts, especially the warm up and the cool down or whatever. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely like when I work out, I do 2 days of, I'll do 2 days will be weightlifting, usually arms and back, and then like chest and shoulders or whatever, something like that. And then 1 day of leg day, and then 1 day of, it's called Kempo. And it's basically like punching and kicking, and it's just basically keeping your heart rate up, but moving your body fast. And and a little bit of plyometrics and stretching, basically. So 1 day I'll do like yoga, and then next week, instead of doing yoga, I'll just do like a stretching routine. And then 1 week I'll do push-ups, pull-ups, and overhead presses and stuff like that. And then the next time it'll be more of I guess one routine would be pushing, and then one routine is more pulling, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I just kind of change it up like that, and I feel like that right there is enough what's it called, muscle confusion, that I always feel like I'm pumped up, or like had more than plenty exercise. And usually my routines are only like 30-35 minutes, and I feel invigorated and energetic like all the time, so much so sometimes it's hard to even sleep. And you would think with as much weed that I smoke that I would sleep easily. I don't know if it's more me worrying about the world.
Oh man, I have
all
sleeping
that
issues,
shit.
and I am
But it's definitely not getting enough exercise, and it's definitely not from not smoking too much. So obviously, I guess it's worrying about if all is well in the world at night before I shut my eyes. And I guess that's something I can't really work on, because it's, fucking the world is the world.
The anxiety of that, plus your restless mind, probably, like when you're working out and you're feeling good and everything, it's like, no, I don't want to go to bed yet. What are you talking about? No. We're like 13 all over again. It's like, man, I want to stay up, and do some shit, and it's like, but then your older self is like, well, wait a second, I have responsibilities and a routine I got to really kind of keep and stick to, but you're kind of newly, like when you're taking care of yourself, you're kind of, but like I remember when I would dance, and I think maybe that's why I danced so much. Like, well, it was just really fun. I never thought of it ever as exercise. And whenever I struggled to continue, I'll just be like, no, I really got to dance and move to the songs. I really like it, and I want to do it. I never thought of it as exercise. So that's why I have a hard time, I think, with like working out. But I recently, like, I went on that FetLife, and I made a post because they have a Colorado Springs workout group that nobody's posted in for like the past 8 months. And I'm like, yeah, I was just, looking for somebody, sometime in March I'll be ready, because all my money for February is spent. But I was thinking about getting my YMCA membership back again, and then heading back out to the YMCA to work out. Although I'm going to need to force myself. It's not like, I don't know how you do it, but, our brains are just wired a little differently, I guess, and like, I really got to force myself to it. Where you may have a hard time dancing, and dancing all night at a club, being excited about
dance.
that.
I just don't dance in front of people. I dance every fucking day, probably. I love music. I make music. I hear music going on in my head all the time, and my girlfriend will be like, why don't you ever dance in public with me? And I'm just embarrassed about it, but I still dance all the fucking time. But I think
You should dance out in public, man. You know, like,
I've
how
tried.
am I
I
going
just
to get
I
Americans
feel
to do
awkward.
dances if I can't get you to dance? I'm going to feel like such a failure.
I mean, if someone put me on the spot, then I might do it. But I just don't like no like line dances and shit. I'm just more of a I feel the I'm like one of those interpretive dancers where you just go with the music type of shit, and I'm just too
Yeah,
wild
same
around
here.
people
I
or
make it
something.
all up as I go.
But
I make it all up as I go. However I feel, I just do.
so I don't know. I just feel awkward and uncomfortable being that expressive in front of people because I've always been kind of uptight and closed off to the world. But
Oh man, if sometime in the future I could get you, you know, your ass over to a goth club or some shit, and you know, I'll have them play like some like Cure or Depeche Mode, something that you probably will be familiar with. And after maybe what, like a Jaeger bomb, would you do one of those?
I mean,
And
I'm not
see,
too
see if I
uptight to
can get.
dance. I just, like I said, I'm not comfortable at some points. I mean,
I
there's
don't
been
know.
points where I have danced in public. It's just not a common thing. Like weddings and
I,
shit
I,
like
I
that,
don't know
I'll
what it
do
is
it.
with me. I'd love to do that shit.
Yeah,
I don't know, but there's some shit that I'm really self conscious about. Like there's some like things where I can't even go out in public yet, and I understand, you know, like, you know, other people have similar struggles too, you know. So it's weird, but with dancing for me specifically, like me, just
well, dancing,
I'll do it alone.
dancing
I
is
don't
a
care if
great
I look
way.
like a crazy person.
Basically, that's plyometrics and kempo combined, where you're kicking and punching and bouncing and
Oh man,
jumping
and I'm out
and
of breath, and I need a, you know, 10 seconds,
yeah.
10,
So
20 seconds to catch my breath to
that's
continue some more, you know.
if you do that 2 or 3 days a week for over a half hour, that's more than enough, really. And so I'm sure it's more than that if you go out once a week and it's 5 hours. That's more than compensating. But it is probably better to do it shorter periods of time
Well, I
more
think the
often.
clubs here are a little bit shorter. They're only
Well,
open till 2 o'clock in the morning, and Chicago was 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's probably only going to be 3 or 4 hours of dancing. Just saying.
I was just saying that even an hour a day, 2 or 3 times a week, is more than plenty for most people. And but yeah, just doing that alone is quite a bit. Uh, what I was going to say though is getting back to like my motivation for working out is more about me being self-conscious about myself because I have been really heavy. I was 240 pounds and I looked like a big blob and I felt like shit. And my daughter made fun of me because I had moobs, my man boobs. She called them moobs.
Your man boob? Oh, you had
Yeah,
man boobs? Oh
yeah.
man,
But now
that might
I'm.
have been hot. I don't know.
No, it was not. It was for me. It was gross, and I felt like shit. And it's nothing to do with anybody else. Like I just felt uncomfortable and not at ease with myself, and I felt like shit, and I felt like I was lumbering, and I struggled to walk upstairs, and I just one day was like, you know what? I used to be really fit. I used to be really active, but now I sit in a position and weld all day, and then I eat 3 lunches, and then I eat dinner, and I don't do anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna every time I pick up a bucket, I'm gonna fucking curl it 20 times. Every time I climb up a ladder, I'm gonna climb up and down it 10 times before I start my first arc. You know what I mean? Just to kind of get myself active. And then I found P90X and fucking started doing that every day after work. About 45 to 55 minutes every day after work. I'd come home from work, uh, have like a, online Twitter session for 20, 30 minutes, just kind of cool down my day, let loose with my ideas and shit. And then I would work out and then make dinner, because you should eat something within about an hour of working out. So that I'd make dinner, which would make it perfect timing, and so that became my routine. And I actually didn't really do well with that. I did it for 6 months and I basically gained weight off of that. So I had to, within like 6 months, I had to figure out what the fuck was going on. And I ended up realizing it was basically just my diet. I just switched up my diet and now I can work out half as much. And I get just as much
and
out
still
of
lose
it. Yeah, or
maintain
I've just
where you're at.
maintained. I fluctuated 5 pounds here and there, so sometimes I'm 165, 167 to like 172 rounding, you know. So I'm basically at
Oh man, I'm so
170.
jelly.
But it's really, I do cheat
wanna
on
be
my
where you're at.
diet, and I still eat pizza, and I still eat chocolate. My girlfriend tells her friends that she lost like 50 pounds, and they're like, "How did you do it?" And she's like, "I don't know. I still eat chocolate every day, though." You know, and they're just like, "What the fuck?" You know,
I'm on the chocolate diet.
I mean, it's like there's certain things you can cut out. I cut out soda, and I lost 15 pounds.
Oh, dude, yeah, that is the smartest. I would drink like 1 or 2 sodas a month. It's like a little treat for me or something.
Yeah, we went from that's about how it is for me. My daughter will bring one by, and I'm like, "You little bitch, I swear." But I'm gonna drink this motherfucker. But so we used to like make a whole box of macaroni and cheese. Now we use those little individual ones, and we split them. So now we're only getting a half a serving. But instead of having like white mashed potatoes, we're eating like baked sweet potatoes and shit like that, you know. So it's just changing certain things up, and also it provides like more choices. It's less bland. There's like more shit you can do with all those extra choices, you know what I'm saying?
I've been changing it up with sweet potatoes too, but I use some golden potatoes, like 4 golden potatoes and like 3 sweet potatoes, and I made like mashed potatoes out of it. Because, you know, I just kind of wanted to like cut down a little bit on the needless calories and get some more complex carbs.
Oh yeah,
and it tasted fine. Like, I mean, you do the little bit of salt and butter, you know, mash it up and make sure they're boiled nicely, and it turned everything orange. It looked like it was entirely, you know, sweet potatoes, but it was like 60%, you know, golden and 40% sweet. And you know, I mean, because I made a big meal last week. It was a roast, and I made mashed potatoes, and carrots and peas are usually my thing, and I added in some stuffing and gravy as well. But you know, I think even if you're cutting down on like 50 calories, that's just, you know, 50 calories
you
really
there,
didn't need, you know.
Yeah, that's basically all I've done is just cut out certain things, or cut back or cut down on certain things, and then just not giving myself like sometimes we'll buy like we buy those little 50-cent pre-made pies, or and so basically we spent $1 on pie, and we get like a little slice of pie each instead of buying a whole big $10 pie, you know what I'm saying, and eating the whole fucking thing. So it's just like decisions
oh man,
like
that sounds good. I should probably
difference.
grab some 50-cent ones. You're gonna, you know, you spoil me a little bit next time I hit up the grocery store.
But yeah, we used to have like always have a box of snack cakes and a big giant bag of chips. But now we'll get like pork rinds, and then we'll just get like a double pack of those little cupcakes, or a thing of Twinkie, and then we'll just split it or something like that. So it's more reasonable. It's like we still get some of it here and there, but we're not like 5-year-olds about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really
I kind of like it. The chips are kind of like soda for me. Like occasionally I'll like buy like a bag of like the lightly salted tortilla chips and get some salsa. But I was actually thinking for a while that was healthy. I'm like, oh, this is healthy here, you know, like I'm eating, you know, some corn with some vegetables, you know, and turns out, no, not so much. And I'm like, damn it, you know, like
you got to try the black bean chips, or there's lentil.
They make, oh yeah, you know what? I gravitate to like low or no sodium, like is my thing. But they make black bean chips. Oh my god, you just blew my mind.
They're really good. I make black bean nachos all the time. They're fucking amazing.
Oh man, that sounds really good right now.
I'm getting pretty hungry because it's.
Yeah, I got friends like I don't know if you hear me typing every now and then, but they're like texting me. They're like, a buddy of mine wants me to help him out with getting a motel room right now, you know, because he doesn't have ID. So I was probably going to run off and do that.
All right, well, I'm going to go get me some dinner, and so I'll get up with you real soon. And it's been great to talk to you, especially about all the stuff we talked about this episode. So.
Yes, yeah, like oh man, like to even separate that shit out in chapters, like it's like you probably have to have like part two chapter, like because we jump back and forth a lot.
Yeah, I used to do that on the
I'm not saying
podcast,
no.
but yeah, I stopped doing that. But a lot of times it'll there's auto. Sometimes it'll do it on its own. I think the algorithm sees our like what we're talking about, like keywords. It sees keywords and then it like makes new chapters and shit. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. That's definitely. I think that there is an auto feature in there. But anyway, yeah, it was lovely talking with you as always. I sorry last time. I was kind of just, man. My mind wasn't there.
It's no biggie. We talked for like
mood.
We talked for like 3.5 hours though. So, and that's gonna be
yeah.
fun
And oh Jesus.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No biggie.
Because you got to listen to that stuff if you're editing it. It's
I know. I've just been busy writing
a
a lot, so I just haven't even got to that second part yet. But I'm probably gonna do that.
Oh,
tonight.
whatever. I'm not worried.
I want to try to get it done by Sunday anyway, because I try to get them out by Sundays. But anyway, you have a good one, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, peace, man. Peace.
All right.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and hit that bell notification so you see more, so you'll notice this on your feed. And then you guys have a good one. Bye-bye.